So, hey friends, welcome back to my word processing class using Microsoft Office Word for advanced users, day 3. I'm very excited that we've made progress so far looking at the progress of day 1, day 2, and I must say that you all really try. You all are trying. I've seen feedbacks of what you try to do with Microsoft Word and must confess they are quite impressive. So I remain your ever joyous facilitator, Sakawaka, spelled Sakawaka. I have 4 A's in my name, and that is just wonderful. So today, day 3, we'll be looking at citations and bibliography, and later on, we will take a look at captions. So, with citations, let me say this that plagiarism is a very huge crime in the literary world. And what plagiarism actually means is lack of acknowledgement to a source. That is, if I write something and you copy that thing from me, it is expected that you acknowledge me as the owner of that write up or quote or whatsoever. When you fail to do so, it is termed as plagiarism, and it's a very huge crime. So, in order to avoid that, you use citation. That is, you say, according to so, this is what it is, and so something like that. So, when you insert citation, you are basically acknowledging the source of a particular information. So let's look at this. Let's assume that this write-up, this particular definition, was gotten from a book, for example. So what I will do is to cite that book, come to insert citation, and then I already have this citation. I'll just click on it, and then you have it. This is according to Omonua 2056. But then you don't know how I did this. So let me do a sample of it again. Come here. Let's say this is what I want to cite now. I click on insert citation, and then I'll just add a new source. It's a book I'm citing. So under types of source, I'll scroll up and then click on book, which is quite easy. The author of the book, let's say the author of the book is Tinubu, for example, Bola, and he's not a corporate author. What is the title of the book? The title of the book, let's say it's Fighting Corruption in the year 2023 in the city of Lagos, for example, published by um INEC Pub, for example. And then I OK it. So here now, you see, it have cited this work that this is according to Bola in the year 2023. It looks as though, why not just open bracket and type this in and type the year? You will need this when it comes to bibliography, which is creation of your references of bibliography, as the case may be. So come here again. Let me go to some other place and insert a citation. Like I said, you click here, and then under new source, if it is under these types of source, if it is a journal, if it is journal article, if it is article in a periodical, you can even cite websites. In Nigeria, I will just say this, that in Nigeria so far, most people have seen their work, they usually cite websites wrongly. The way they cite websites are usually done wrongly. And then most of the seminars I've been to, I try to take them through the proper way of citing from websites. So let me click on it, website, so you see how it works. Now, what they do most times is they will just copy the URL and paste in the document. No, that is not how websites should be cited. Someone published the website. The website has a title, it has a date of publication. All these things should be taken into consideration, not just the URL of the website. So let's say I want to cite a website. I've chosen it as my source and the author. Let me come here to my web browser. I'm using Google Chrome. And now let's say I want to cite, for example, this history of computers according to www.lifescience.com. I'll click on it. Wow. No internet. Wait. Let me ping my network to see what is wrong. Let me open my command prompt. Oh, general failure. I've been disconnected from my network, so sorry I won't be able to visit the website. I've been disconnected, and as you can see, I've been disconnected from my network, and hence I have no access to internet for now. Let me close it and let's go back to our page. So let's say the author of the website is Tola, for example, and she's not a corporate author. The name of the web page, let's say the name of the web page is computer users. It's computer users, and then the title of that website is Tola Tech Creek. This was published in the year 2021, for example, in the month of January, day 23, that is 23rd, for example. And then the URL of this website, probably it is http www.tolatechcreek.com/computer users / let's say HTML. I'm just trying to create a typical URL. So you can see the author is Tola, the name of the web page is computer users, for example, and then the name of the website is Tola Tech Creek, published in the year 2021, January 23rd. Like I said, what most people use for their citation, they will just copy this URL and dump. That is not it. Now look at my citation. And then I okay it. You see here, it is telling me the name of the publisher of that website, Tola, in the year 2021. And then I can come here and say, okay, let me cite another thing. For example, I want to add new source. I can decide to cite even interview. You can see if I want to cite a film, I can just click on film. Where is the title of the film? For example, where is this film I love so much? I've forgotten the title, but it was directed by Mel Gibson. Is it We Were Soldiers? Directed by Mel Gibson. As for the year, I can't remember the year, but let me say it was in the year 2002 or year 2003. You see it. So, according to a movie titled We Were Soldiers, and then directed by Mel Gibson in the year 2003, I okay it. Now, according to Mel Gibson 2003, I got this. You can even cite an interview. Let's say this now was extracted from an interview. I'll add new source and then come here to say, okay, an interview. You see, there are so many categories. Who is the interviewee? Let's say I interviewed Fubara, for example, Fubara Singh, and the title of that my interview is Rivers Vision. The interviewer Sakawaka, for example, in the year 1994 February, which is my birth month. 23rd. I'll okay it. Now, according to SIM 1994, now you see how the citation works, right? Now, the question in your mind is, why do I have to go through all those processes when I can just do something like this? Look at this. Just open bracket and let's just say Buhari, comma, 2021, and then close bracket. Now, if you do it like this, you will not be able to use your bibliography with this. It is the information in your citation that will be generated to create your bibliography or your references, as the case may be. So now take note of this Buhari, for example. Now I'm done citing my work. Let me go and say I want to create my references, for example, which is usually at the last page of your document. Now, for those doing research work, I also did my lecturer then recommended that while doing my research work, I should get a book and write down all my references so that when I want to type. But while doing I used bibliography, so I did not have to write and so on. In fact, I did my project work with ease. And that is because I have good knowledge of how to use Microsoft Word citation and bibliography. Now, using references, you have your style, you have your APA, which is your American Psychological Style, you have your Harvard, you have any of these. So any style your supervisor or any style you want to use for your references, you come to styles and then click on it. Come to bibliography here. If I want it as my references, I'll just click on references, which is what we are used to here in Nigeria. Most time we don't use bibliography. So you just click on references and then it will be created based on the things you cited. And now you see them, right? You see them. You see how they are. So I did not type these things. I just insert them because I have cited them in the body of my work. You see it? That is just the beauty of it. That's the beauty of bibliography. That is the beauty of that. So let me delete this. Say I don't want it. Let me insert bibliography. Now you see it arranged for me. If I don't want to use bibliography, I want references, I'll come here, choose references. But now let's make do with bibliography. Let me increase the font size to 14. Now you can see it that according to Bolati 2003 in the book Fighting Corruption published in the city of Lagos by Anek Paul, and then according to Mel Gibson, a director in the year 2003 in the movie We Were Soldiers. You see it, motion pictures. And then you see according to Sim Fubara 1994 February 23rd in the Rivers Vision interview by Sakawaka, the interviewer. You can see that. Now, all these were created for me as my bibliography because I already cited them in my work. So if you don't cite, you cannot use bibliography. Yes, if you don't have any cited work, there's no how you will use bibliography because your bibliography or your references are created according to what you cite. And from here, you can manage your sources. If you want to delete anyone, for example, if I want to delete Tinubu, I can just delete it, do whatsoever I want with it. If I want to edit it, I can also edit it. Maybe I made a mistake and then I can correct it and so on. So that is how citation and bibliography works. That is how they work. Basically, they work hand in hand. And then the last one for the three is the use of captions. Yes, like these references are very good. In fact, they will be of tremendous help to those writing projects, thesis, dissertation, and formal documents. So for my caption, for example, here now I have figure 1. Let me create a table so I can also have table. So I can also have table work. I'll just create like 2 tables in random places. Let me just create this as my table. Let me just create this as my table. Border, let there be border for all. I'll just create 2 for the sake of time. Let me create another table here. For example, and then I create another one here now. So from here, I create this. So here now, I'll click here, and then under my references, I have my caption. Now, it's normal, you can just type figure 1, figure 2. But remember that we are trying to automate some of these processes for us to be able to generate our table of figures and so on. Remember, our table of content, I convert them to levels or headings, and then for us to get our bibliography, we first inserted citation. So for us to get table of figures and so on, we need to create captions. So for my caption, I'll just click on insert caption. What do I want? Is it figure? If this is a figure, I will put figure. If it is an equation, I'll click on equation or table. So this is a figure. This is figure 1. For example, position, I want it below. Below. Let me check my numbering. If I want it 1, 2, 3, or I want it to be alphabetical, any of this format, I'll click. But I prefer it to be 1, 2, 3, and then OK it. Figure 1, I'll OK it. So here now you have your figure 1. I can increase the font size. Let me take it to 14. Figure 1, I can say, okay, my figure 1 is arise. Or let me say, oh God, arise. For example, this is my figure 1. Don't forget that. And then let me go down. Then I intentionally skipped this to put figure 2 here. Here is the figure 2. Yes, this is it. Remember, this figure. This one comes before this one, but I want to put figure 2 here so that you get how the numbering system works. So this now is figure 2. Okay, it. Font 14 again. Let me close this. Font 14 again. Where is my caption? Yes. Let me undo this. Insert caption, figure 2. And here, let me increase it to font 14. And here, let me just add it as computer system. Now, this figure 2, right? Now, let me come here and then put this as my caption. Now, you see automatically it gives me figure 2. This is redeemed logo. The redeemed logo. So font 14 once again. Font 14. Now you see it automatically corrects this to figure 2, and then this one becomes figure 3. You see it here. So that is one of the beauties of using captions. You don't have to start manually arrange your work. You just insert, automatically it updates them for you. Now I have table here. I have table there. I inserted table. So let me say this is my table 1 table now. My neighbor table. So this is my table 1. Table 1. Let me just say table 1 stepped record now. Font 14. Font 14. and then here let me look for another of my table. This table now, under my caption, figure 2, table 2, no, under figure 2, table 2 rather, I have, let me just title this Mark 1, font 14 once again, font 14. Now I'm done with my captions. I'm done inserting my captions, as you can see right now. Let me create my table of figures. Let me say I want to create my table of figures. Let me bring it down. Let me bring it down and say, okay, I want my table of figures anywhere I want it, either first page, anywhere. Now what I will do, since I already create my captions, now see my table of figures, right? I'll click on it, and then from here I can set any of these. I can set any of them. For example, once I have my table of figures done, show page numbers. Of course, my page numbers should be shown. Align, right align page numbers. Yes. My tab leader, I prefer this one. So I'll just okay it. And then you see it. This is my table of figure now. My table 1 is stepped right corner. My table 1 is stepped right corner. My table 2, stepped right corner. Come to table of figures again. My this for tables now, and that is why I have table Z. Now let me come here, click on figures. Now I okay it, and then you see my figure 1, oh God arise, page 1, figure 2, the redeemed logo, page 3, figure 3, the computer system, page 4, and then for my table, stepped right corner is in page 2, say Mark 1 is in page 3. You understand it now? Now, assuming I made any change, probably I move one page to the other, I can now come here to update table the same way we updated table of contents. And that is how it works for citation and bibliography, then for captions. If there's any part of the video that you did not understand, please let me know. And I will be so glad, I will be so happy, profoundly happy to put you through. And that is because I acknowledge the fact that you've put in effort, resources to learn from me in order to become a professional user of Microsoft Office Word. And I do not take that for granted. You are very special, you are unique. I love you. And if I should see you personally, I won't forget to give a very big hug. So keep on practicing and keep on asking questions. Let me know about your challenges, and I will be happy to put you through. And that is a wrap on day 3 class on our advanced course for Microsoft Office Word. So let's meet in our day 4 class, where we'll be looking at very interesting things in our day 4. But until then, keep on practicing, keep on asking questions, and of course, I will be happy to get